Guys in Arizona, welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast. Oops, got to cross them off. Number 1816. Woohoo! 10 days until we hit 1826, which will be the end of 5 years of daily lives. So, or podcasts, whatever you want to call them. So, here we are today, and today was all about focus because it's Sunday. Sunday, I like to get offline. This is my first time on the computer today. And just basically unplug and just relax. But I had a mission this weekend, and my mission was to get my bookcase, my cube bookcase up, to get part of the room out the back there, get it cleared so I could get the bookcases up so I could start putting the books that are in the boxes out there onto the bookcases. Some of the boxes ended up in here, but I do have some interesting things. I got to bring over my show and tell. So as I'm going through boxes, I'm sort of like, can I unpack this in less than 5 minutes? No, it gets put to the side because it's going to take a little longer to sort. If it's something I can empty in 5 minutes, it's emptied. But I found this cute little notebook and it says, let your sparkle shine through. I don't know where I got this from, but it's really, it's just a little notebook. But then I came across at the front here, it's got, oh, it was given to me by Kathy. Oh, from California. Kathy from California. I just saw the inscription in the front here. I didn't see that before. But what I've been using, what I used this for, looks like, is sayings and Bible verses that are some of my favorite Bible verses and sayings. Like this one here from Anne Frank. No one has ever become poor by giving. Kathy Kendrick. Oh, that was so sweet of her. I didn't know where I got it from until I opened this, but it's from Kathy Kendrick. From the cruise that we did in 2017. It was a group cruise that she was on with us. So I'm going to pull this out and start writing some more in it because it's obviously I haven't filled it, but I like having little notebooks like this that you can write little sayings in, and that way when you're feeling down and out, you can just go into your little book of happiness. In this case, the little book of sparkle, because it's the inner sparkle, and find your sparkle again. Okay, so this one, Craig, is $1.95. If I remember correctly, I had a look at the beginning of the front of the book. It's got a copyright in 1978, and it is the Military Fitness and Diet book. Look how tiny this thing is. You know, iPhone book. Oh, here we go. iPhone notebook. They're almost the same size. But yeah, I thought this was kind of cute and interesting. I've got no, and being military and looking at it, I would say this is something that it was definitely not me. This definitely didn't come to the US with me. This would have been something that Brad may have had. But you know, the military fitness plan, making a start, plunge right in. The best time to launch your personal military fitness plan is tomorrow. Better yet, today. No time is impractical or impossible. Even in the middle of winter, this plan can be followed in its entirety with revitalizing effects. First, read this book cover to cover. If you skip over pages, important explanations will be missed. Be sure you understand the 3 MFP phases. I'm guessing that's military fitness plan. The MD seal of approval. This program is vigorous. To ensure it is safe, its safety for you, a thorough medical examination is necessary for anyone over 30. So if you're under 30, you're good to just dive right in. The evaluation should include a check of blood pressure, weight, chest x-ray, and electrocardiograph or EKG. Explain the MFP to your doctor, get his or her approval. There may be special reasons why you should avoid certain workouts. Others will be substituted by the physician who knows you best. I'm like, okay, so that's the plan. It's got little tabs down the side here. So this next tab says warm-ups. Warm-ups. I like the spiral binding on this. Oh. And you've got foot flexors and thigh stretches. I didn't tell you how many you got to do of each. Oh, but the thing that I liked here, I saw this before, is at the end, you've got a warm-ups progress chart. It's got week 1 through 6, Sunday through Saturday across here. And each exercise area, that's like table 1. What's in table 1? I didn't look to see what was in table 1. Oh, we used to do some of these in gymnastics. So you've got up here it says waist. Over here it says chest and arms. So these are the exercises here. And then down below it's got, I don't even know what the graph at the bottom means. There's ABC, so I'm guessing that's your fitness level. You got to do it for the waist one for 2 minutes. These are your ages across the bottom here in the chart. So the ages across the bottom, and then based on whether your fitness level is A, B, or C as to how many reps you have to do, and you got to get them done in 2 minutes. And I'm guessing at the end of this section, they've got a progress chart right there. So you can chart your progress. Obviously, this book has never been used because the progress charts have never been filled in. But there's all these different levels in here. Oh, for legs, heart, and lungs. Stand erect, feet together, arms at side. Run in place, lifting feet 4 to 6 inches off the floor. Run on toes and balls of feet, keeping back straight. Bend elbows and allow arms to swing in rhythm as you run. Repeat sequence until a required number of steps is completed. Count 1 step each time your left foot hits the floor. And in 6 minutes, if you're 17 to 29, you got to do 300 if you're at your peak fitness. So I thought that was a pretty cool little book to go in. You got conditioning runs. There's the diet thingy at the back here. Well, that'll be interesting to read through later on and see what's in there. Yes, that would be very interesting. Okay, so that was another thing. Then this one I know I got from my mother-in-law's place. This is going back into the 70s. This is 75 through 76, this book. But this is a tool that travel agents would use back then when they had the brick and mortar stores. And this was one of their travel guides that they use. This is for the Far East and the Pacific travel guide, and this is the South Sea. So this was the cover for UTA. UTA was one of the airlines that they used. And all sorts of information. But the countries in red, the countries are in orange, the ones that they're doing for the South Seas. So you got the US West Coast, you got Australia, New Zealand, you got Fiji, you got Hawaii, Philippines, Korea, Japan. What else is over there? Indonesia, Philippines, Hong Kong, Burma, Nepal, India, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia, Micronesia, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, New Hebrides, Samoa, Western Samoa, Tonga, Cook Islands, Moorea, Tahiti. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So these are all the countries that are in this book. Now, what's in this book? So I went down to New Zealand to have a look because I figured that would be the easiest one to look at. This is the New Zealand page. You've got the map of New Zealand. You got a little bit here, a little blurb here that says from the US West Coast via Tahiti and from Europe via Ceylon, Singapore, Indonesia, New Caledonia, and Sydney, UTA jets serve Auckland. That's how you get to New Zealand. All right, let's see. Arrival in New Zealand. So they've got the arrival information here. Airport transfers. So Auckland International is 14 minutes from the city centre. That is no longer the case. I can tell you right now, it will not take you 14 minutes to get to downtown Auckland right now, even from the same airport that they were using back then. Oh my goodness, you'd be lucky if you get there in an hour. The airline transfers for international was 80 cents New Zealand. Domestic was 50 cents New Zealand, and traffic and taxi transfers were $5. This is back in 75 and 76. This is interesting. It's 14 miles from the city. I saw it read miles, not minutes. So yeah, Auckland International Airport is about 14 miles from the city centre. I like this though, that even though it's all in New Zealand stuff, it doesn't have the kilometers in there. Although back then we probably were still using miles. I remember being at school one year. was I? Standard 3. So it would have been like 8. So that would have been around 70, 74, 75-ish. So this would have been just after the change came through, where all of our math textbooks, there was a guy that would come into the room. He took all the math textbooks that we had, went and sat at a desk at the back corner of the room, and he basically went through the math textbooks, and he was putting big, and he had like a big Sharpie marker, although it probably wasn't called Sharpie, this big black marker, and he would put a mark through the pages we were not allowed to be taught because they were all, and we had just switched to metric. So yeah, remember all that. Let's see. Auckland to Christchurch flight time, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Oh, it's only $41.30 one way. Now, if you want that in US dollars, back then it was probably around 50 cents US bought $1 New Zealand dollar. Is that the right way? Yeah, because it was somewhere around 50, 60 cents. Let's see, the population. The total population is 3 million, including Maoris and Europeans, called Pakihas by the Maoris. 90% of British descent. Latest estimates show that 72% of the population is in the North Island and only 28% in the South Island. That ratio is probably still pretty true as well. All those years later. Although there's like 5 million people there now. 5 point something. Main cities are Auckland, Wellington, and District, and Christchurch and District. Yeah, so 72% of the population lived in Auckland. About half of what lived in the North Island. About half of that lived in Auckland. And it gives you a little bit of the background. It tells you what the climate is. Even has the temperatures. Gives you a little bit of history in here. Oh, let's have a look at the hotels. General information like postal services, tourist offices, travel agencies, the currency. Oh, there you go. New Zealand $1 New Zealand dollar equals $1.42 US. There you go. And $1 US equals 68 cents New Zealand. What the banking hours are, the electricity and the water, laundry, dry cleaning, restaurants. World famous New Zealand lamb is probably the most popular, but beef, pork, and seafood are treats too. Always delicious. Tohiro, a giant shellfish weighing half a pound and best prepared in a soup peculiar to New Zealand. I'm just reading what it says here. Also, rock oysters, salmon, trout, whitebait, and venison. Oh, whitebait. Haven't had whitebait fritters in years. Venison dishes. In the cake line, there is the pavlova served as a dessert. There are several good wines and strong beers produced locally. Some of the best licensed restaurants in Auckland, and then it's got Christchurch, Wellington, and Dunedin. Oh no, Auckland, Christchurch, Queenstown, and Wellington. Sorry. Tipping, normally expected in better class restaurants and hosts when a personal service is rendered. Tipping is otherwise not common. That's the first I've ever heard of that one. Yeah. In New Zealand, we basically don't tip. Let's see, different activities. So this here was like information that the travel agent could go to. It was their resource guide. So if somebody wanted to go to New Zealand, they could go pull this up. They've got the map at the front and they can show people on, but then they've got other information in here that they can now pass on to their clients about different activities that are available. All right, I got to check out the hotels because this is gonna flip me out. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if there's any hotel names that are still around that I know. I don't believe these prices. Now, granted, it is 1975 to 76. But you had like the Great Northern Hotel that was on Queen Street. It had 147 rooms downtown, handy to airlines, shops, tour operators, 7 cocktail lounges and a bar. Rooms with breakfast for a single was $14. For a double was $17 and up, New Zealand dollars. So cut that in half for what it was for US. I'm trying to see what the most expensive ones I can find. Oh, the Intercontinental Auckland, 332 rooms, center of the city overlooking Waitemata Harbour. At public areas are air-conditioned. All public areas are air-conditioned. Shopping, arcade, rooftop restaurant, banquet facilities, lounges. Room only for a single was $25 to $33, and for a double was $35 to $43.50. And breakfast was $1.95, and an extra bed was $9. Oh, the James Cook Hotel. I remember that place. 201 rooms, full air conditioned, telephone, TV, radio, bath and shower in all rooms, 2 cocktail bars, 3 lounges. Oh, this one's in Wellington. Mid-city position. Room only for a single was $20 and up, and for a double was $24 and up, and a suite was $45 and up. This is back in the mid-70s. This is really cool. Let's see if there's any other. There's just, oh, Southern Cross. That's still around. Pretty sure that one's still around. But this is, what to see in different tours that they, here's pictures of some of the hotels in the South Island. What to see and do in the North Island, what to see and do in the South Island. Like if you did an 8. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've got to check this one out. It comes out. Oh yeah. We're gonna do a guess the price on this one, I think. From Christchurch, an all-inclusive 8-day round trip by Scenic Cruiser offering 7 nights, all meals and comprehensive sightseeing to Mount Cook, Queenstown, Lake Manapori, Lake Teanau, Milford Sound, and Dunedin, with good accommodation is suggested. This is an 8-day itinerary. Rates are $196.25. Prices above are given merely as a guide and are subject to change without notice. You could probably get hotel rooms in downtown Auckland for $196.25 a night, maybe. This one here is from Auckland to Wellington and includes an all-inclusive 4-day tour by Scenic Cruiser motor coaches offering 3 nights, all meals and comprehensive sightseeing at Waitomo Caves, Rotorua. Accommodation is for 2 nights at Rotorua. Waiotapu, Waikiri, Taupo Chateau accommodation at the Chateau Tongariro, and Wellington is suggested. $90. That is just like insane. But then this was back in the mid-70s. So I remember grabbing this from my mother-in-law's place because I thought it'd be really cool to go back. It just is something from yesteryear to see how far things have come, what's still around, what's not around, and just to see what this is a resource guide that travel agents would have for different countries that they could go into, that they would go in, and all the dollars are all shown, all the money, the values of everything, the prices were all shown in the local currency. What the heck is this one? Oh, this just got put here. Well, that is interesting. I've got some writing in there, and no, you're not going to read it. Now, last night, I was talking about my binder, that I couldn't find my binder with all the certificates and the birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, whatnot. This is the binder. Do I have close at hand a blank piece? No, I don't have a blank piece of paper. But as you can see, it's taller than a regular piece of paper. I'm just trying to see if I've got. Most of my paper bits have got writing on them. Oh, this will work. This is a standard piece of paper against this binder, just to give you some idea on the difference in size. So all the certificates and I've got all my page protectors in here. And I've got the binder upside down. That's okay. We'll just flip it. But just to give you ideas, here is one of the certificates that came in from England. It's the green, and this is the standard US 8.5 by 11 against the green. You can see it's a little taller, which is why the standard ones didn't fit. So this is an A4 size. And I've got, let's see, Thomas Eakins and Martha Winters. Oh, that's my second great grandfather and his first wife. That was his first wife. Let's see, what's this one? This is and you can see this here is what a registry of birth looked like, what they send you a copy of. So you actually get to see the handwritten entry. They put a copy of the handwritten entry onto the certificate, and it's all sealed and all that, so you know that it's the dinky die stuff. This one is birth entry from Cambridge, in the county of Cambridge. I need my magnifying glass. These are very, very handy. Okay, only because I'm trying to decipher the writing. 14th of June, 1839, in St. Edmunds, Clara Ann, girl. Her father was Joshua Charles Harper. The mother was Mary Harper, formerly Paul. The occupation of the father was a stay maker. And you're probably going to go, what's a stay maker? If you remember corsets, they had those bones in them to keep, and I think that's what the stays were. Signature and description of informant was, okay, so it may not have been a parent that reported the birth. In this case, it was Anne Paul, who is the aunt, so the sister to the wife, Mary Paul. And it said in residence, Union Street. When registered, the 1st of July, 1839. And then it's got the signature of the register. So even though she was born the 14th of June, 1839, her birth wasn't registered to the 1st. And then it says that I ordered this in 2006. So these are pretty cool. So that's a, so the green ones are the marriage certificates. These are the ones that come from England. This one here with the cream with the red writing, these are the birth certificates. And that's a green one. Who's that? Oh, that's my second great-grandfather with my second great-grandmother, whose birth I just read out. That was their marriage. This is a death certificate, which is on the cream-colored piece of paper with the black writing and everything else. And this is my second great-grandfather's death certificate. He was only 57 years old when he died. His wife had died well before him. His first wife had died. Cause of death, failure of... I have to decipher writing. Failure of heart. Something from... something disease. This is how easy it is to read. And yes, I grew up reading cursive. Yeah, basically I think his heart gave out. So, and then they came down to New Zealand. And then you've got, again, another copy of marriage. This is my second great-grandfather and my, third great-grandfather and third great-grandmother. It was their son that married my second great-grandmother, and then the son died in a drowning. He drowned in the Clutha River in New Zealand. So that's their marriage. Let's see, this marriage is Samuel Cleve to Sarah Mary Coleman, again, third great-grandparents. This is entry of birth for William Hick Coleman. He is my second great-grandfather on my father's mother's side. So my paternal grandfather's mother's side of the family. Oh, no, hang on. William Hick Coleman. No, sorry. This is my paternal grandmother's grandfather. Yeah. William Hick Coleman. Hang on. Yeah, clearly fits, right? This is the entry of birth for... who's this entry for? Martha Sophia Anglis. She was my second great-grandmother. She ventured from England out to New Zealand. Certificate of marriage. This is William Henry Morris. Look at another word in there. Price. I have to go figure out what that one there is. Who married Martha Sophia Anglis, what birth certificate we just saw, so that's their marriage certificate. Let's see, this is Nelson Hendra. This is my great-grandfather and his birth certificate. I got a lot from Cornwall. These are all in archive safe sleeves. So it just goes on and on and on and on. Who are you? Thomas Richard and Mary Peters. Oh, you're my second great grandparents? Yeah, second great grandparents on my maternal grandfather's side. Thomas Henry Hendra and Jane Richards. This is their marriage certificate. These are my second great grandparents. Yeah. So it just keeps going on. And then I have Harriet Sophia Inglis, who was the Inglis, isn't it? The Inglis, and she was the daughter. No, sorry, that's the mother. I just remembered that one. I actually got a cousin that may come off her line. So that I'm trying to match up. We found the DNA match, but we're just going through. And so those are the ones that came from England. And then I also have ones from New Zealand, which are handwritten or typed up. So it just makes it very easy to see birth certificates, death certificates, and they're very clear. But that was that binder which I thought I had lost, and I found it. So I was very happy with that. So I'm very happy with what I've done today. We've got the bookcase made. We made it 5 wide. Then the next row was 4, 3, 2, and 1. So it actually goes 5 high and 5 across, but it's stepped. Each level is stepped down. So we've got it up. We've got it in place. And we managed to clear out enough area of the area where it was going to get it in there. And now it's just going to be I've got a whole bunch of books that are sitting underneath the table that I've sorted. As I opened a box of books. Oh, hang on. I got one more thing to show. So I wrote this book back in, I don't know when, like 2011, I think it was. And it was called Congratulations, You're Going on a Cruise. Now what? And it is available on Amazon. But this one we customized for a client. So on this one here, we're doing the Promote Your Passion Cruise. Here's the name of the book with the author's name. Here's the ship we were going on and the states we were sailing, and it was December 8th through 13th of 2012 on Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas. On the inside cover, we customized the inside cover with, we did a 5-night Western Caribbean round trip from Fort Lauderdale. It's got the name of the company, the ship, and then this is the itinerary of what we were doing on the sailing. So, we left at 4:30 from Fort Lauderdale on December the 8th. December the 9th, we had an at-sea day. December the 10th, we're in Belize City in Belize from 9 to 6. December the 11th, we're in Cozumel, Mexico from 8 to 6. On Wednesday the 12th, we're at sea. And on Thursday the 13th, we're back in Fort Lauderdale at 7 a.m. And it says, even down here in the small print, I made sure it was on there in small print, that please note that Royal Caribbean International reserves the right to change the ship's schedule itinerary in the event of an emergency or unfavorable conditions for the enjoyment of the cruise at any time, and compensation, if any, is at the discretion of the cruise line. And then the rest of the book is it's a short little book, what to pack. It's got different hints and tips about cruising, being the first time on a cruise. And on the inside cover at the back there, it has these photos of our speakers that were partaking on the Promote Your Passion Love at Sea. These were our keynote speakers. So it was pretty cool, but we didn't, and I had another surface there if anybody wanted to do that. So we actually made this book, published it, got it out there to print, but we actually also made it so that if anybody was doing a cruise and they wanted this book, this would be something that they could then give to that we could give to the clients with their travel documents and things like that. And it would be personalized for the tour that they were going on, but on the cruise that they were going on, but it was only for group cruises. So that was one that I did back in 2012, and it's got their logo on it, not mine. My one on Amazon has my logo on it. So, pretty pleased with what we got done today. Got the bookcase all organized, got it assembled and put in place, got enough stuff cleared out of there. I've got some books that are sitting under the table already pre-sorted. Some will be going on there, some will be going on the metal bookcase. I've got to remove stuff off the metal bookcase to put onto the other ones. I found a box with all my photo albums in it. Yes, I was tempted to sit down and go through them, and I'm like, no, we have to stay focused. We've got to stay. So the whole day was about staying focused and on task, because as I was finding stuff, I was like, oh, I got to go through this. No. So the rule was, if I opened a box and it could not be emptied and sorted within 5 minutes, it had to be moved. It could not be emptied. I could not go through it. And I didn't realize how many boxes of files that I have. And I'm looking at the dates in these files, and a lot of them are from when we were in Virginia. And we left Virginia in 2010, which means I can go shred a good portion, like 98% of what's in those boxes can get shredded because it's no longer relevant, no longer needed. I'm allowing myself 2% for stuff that's you should never get rid of. And somewhere around, I have a list on that. And right now, I really want to go for a walk, but we've got dust storms and thunderstorms around us at the moment. The temperature has dropped from 109 degrees. Our high today was 109 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 42 degrees centigrade Celsius. And all of a sudden, I noticed that on the Alexa in the other room, when we're sitting just relaxing after we'd got everything done, that it said that it was, I want to say 88 degrees. No, lower than that. Hang on. I can tell you what it is in Celsius. Just going to do it the other way. It had dropped to 32 degrees Celsius, which is 89 degrees. So it had gone from 109 degrees Fahrenheit to 89 degrees Fahrenheit, or 42 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius in less than an hour. We've got all these warnings coming out about dust storms, thunderstorms coming through. It's very gray outside. It looks like the wind may have died down some. And like right as it's just starting, I was by the front door with some of the boxes there, and I heard there was rustling outside, and I was expecting an Amazon order, and it was the Amazon person delivering it. And I opened the door, and she says, "I can't stay. I have to go. I got to get out of here before the storm comes through." And I could hear the thunder coming, and the wind had already picked up at that point. I said, "Please go and drive safe." And she was heading away from the storm, so hopefully she got home safely. But yeah, we had at one point I'm hearing this noise. I go, "What's that noise?" I open up the front door, and there's these empty boxes rolling down the street from somebody's recycling bin that they'd already put out. And then the people across the road had their bins out, and they must have taken them back in because they're no longer there. I went out now, went and checked outside about 30 minutes later. I'm like, I said to Zeffie, I said, did they take, because Zeffie was sitting in her chair here looking out the window. I said, did they take their bins in? And she just looks at me. And so I went outside to have a look around down the street and everything because the wind was coming from that direction, from the east to the west, and could not see any trash cans lying on the ground. So they neighbours across the road must have come and pulled their trash cans in while the storm and that was raging. Because I was like, yeah, there's no way in heck I'm putting the recycle bin out until all the storm stuff is over. As long as it's out before like 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll be fine. So I was meant to do my lawns. I was going to do my lawns today and do some weeding on the front lawns. But I got home from the walk. It was like 40-something% humidity. It was hot. It was sticky. It was only about what the temperature is now. So it was a nice cool temperature, but it was humid. It was humid, and I was exhausted, and I'm like, there's no way I can operate a lawnmower on this. I said, let's try this tomorrow morning. So, plus I also wanted to focus on that front room as well. And I'm like, if I go and do the lawns, it's going to completely tire me out. Then I've got to go and have a shower to recuperate. And by the time I've done all of that, I'm going to be physically exhausted and not have any energy to do the front room. So it's like, do I do the lawns? Do I do the front room? So I decided to stay cooler inside and get the front room done. So I'm glad we got the front room done as much as we got it done. The rest of the week is going to be spent doing the 5-minute rule on the boxes. And because I know there's boxes that are going to take time to go through because there's so many bits and pieces in them. But we got only about like 7 or 8 boxes empty today, which wasn't too bad. I got that whole area clear. And I've got some milk crates with the boxes in them, with books in them. I'm not touching the milk crates right now. So they're sitting in front of the bookcase and they've got books in them. So they'll be an easy transfer to whichever one they're going. I figured I'm just going to leave them in the milk crates because they're easy to move around. Plus, too, if I wanted to, I can, I'm going to set up, because the milk crates interlock, I can actually make a bookcase out of the milk crates as well. So I'm thinking, see if he's paying attention now. I'm thinking if I can get the rest of the room cleared, that I could use them to be like when we come in from the outside is where our shoes sit, where her leashes are. where our reflective jackets are and that sort of stuff. Be that, make it up at that area. But I don't know yet. And I still, and I did not use the leftovers from the previous shelf unit. So I have those plus the extras from this one because there's a certain amount of stuff that was left over because of the way I configured it. So I'm going to use that to put them together, but I'm not sure if I'm then going to put it in my closet or because I could use some shelving in the closet. Actually, I could use drawers in the closet, but I figured I have got so many bins of different varieties and sorts that would fit inside those cubes that I thought, why get a chest of drawers when I can create this thing, use the baskets that I have from the baskets that I have and use them to put stuff in. So I'm still figuring that one out. Or I may just put it in the craft room. I haven't decided yet and start unpacking the craft room. But anyway, so focus was our thing of the day, getting stuff done when all I wanted to do was kick back and relax and do basically nothing. No, I decided to focus on my mission for today, and we're going to work on it throughout the week as well. I'm going to try for 1 to 2 boxes a day. It's going to be my goal to get 1 to 2 boxes a day emptied and get stuff put on the bookcases. And so tomorrow, yeah, because of how early I get up and how early we have to walk because of the temperatures outside, I've got a couple of hours before I actually have to go into the office. So we're going to be working on that this week, using that 1 to 2 hours to go through some boxes. Maybe I'll do an hour of that and then I can do an extra hour for clients. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we're going to go and see what the weather's doing to see if we can safely go for walks. If there's thunder and lightning, we ain't going for a walk. At least not while the thunder and lightning's out there. It could mean a walk in the dark, which means it's going to be a super short walk. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6